All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Am I Doing This Wrong? This is another one of our bonus episodes for our Side Hustle Summer. We are so excited to be back with another episode, another amazing person to feature. And this week we have none other than my girl Danielle, who is, I'll let her tell you all about herself. But she has been a friend for a while. We've known each other actually a very long time.
Yes.
But
Since we were like little kids.
yeah, quite literally. Yeah. Before the days of full face. We've been around. Yeah. So we are so excited to have her on our podcast today. But just first to start and check in a little bit, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. You know, like my birthday was on Sunday, Leo gang.
Yes.
Yeah, since like my birthday, I feel like I've just like been renewed, just like really trying to grind it out. So it's been a really productive week. But yeah, how are you?
I'm this week. Yeah, we just had a little pre-recording chat, and your girl's trying to find balance, trying to figure out how to navigate like freelance life and really be like intentional about like having free time that is actually not occupied. Because baby, when I say my therapist was like, you haven't taken a break, I'm like, this is a break. I don't know what you're talking about. No, just kidding. But no, I'm just kidding, because therapy is work. That is not a joke at all. But yeah, it's been good. It's been really good. And yeah, I'm excited to have you tonight. So yeah, let's just go on and jump right in. So like I said, this is for Side Hustle Summer. And so I'll probably cut this part out just because usually we go right to the first question, but I forgot. So yeah, let's get right into it. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Danielle. What do you do? And yeah, what does that look like for you? What is your side hustle?
Yeah, so I'm Danielle Sterling at denymarie, denymarie. I guess, primary job, like my actual career and profession, I actually do clinical work and research, looking with children with neurodevelopmental disorders. And so I'm an assessor in the local Los Angeles area. And I also work as a child therapist with my research work as well. And so my side hustle though is I run a natural skincare company, denymarie Beauty. And yes, I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Natural skincare made with melanin in mind. But yeah, I really just like love that, and I love my passion, and I wish I could dedicate more time to it. But yeah, that's my side hustle.
Wonderful. Very cool. And that's one thing too. I know, especially knowing you through like family and basically being a part of our family now, it's like I know what you do and I see what you're doing, because obviously like we're friends on social media, but hearing you actually break it down, I'm like, oh, right. Oh, it is that. And then it is that as well. So yes, wonderful. Thank you so much for that. All right,
Yes, of
awesome.
course.
And so focusing a little bit on that natural skincare line that you have, how long have you been interested in this side hustle?
Well, I actually was a freelance makeup artist, or I guess I still am, in the San Diego area now, like LA and San Diego, as my original side hustle. But like I've always really felt passionate about like skincare. That's even with like doing makeup. I always make sure that like clients understand like I want to bring their natural beauty from within out. And so with that being like my primary goal, even in doing makeup, I myself went on like a self-love skincare journey. And so really finding out like how to take care of my skin, recognizing which products were good for my skin, and specifically looking at melanated skin. And then also seeing that there weren't many like natural options in stores. And honestly, half the time you look at the bottle and you don't understand what you're reading. And for me, it was very much so like, okay, I'm gonna take ownership of this, of my skin. How can I really formulate products? And honestly, how can I really learn to love myself again? Just being like, before the wave of, especially now, like social justice and like recognition for being Black and more aspects than just like our athleticism or entertainment value, really inherently looking at us as people and like recognizing our importance in just not society, but like also the economy and commerce, and how we are like some of the, if not the top demographic, especially Black women, the top demographic of consumers in the, you know, cosmetic and hair industry itself. But yet we do not have a more of a larger piece of the niche of ownership. And so, you know, looking at all those aspects, it was very much so like, okay, I'm going to love myself, but I'm also going to make sure that we're out in this market and we're competitive and we're giving good products to our people, but that can be used by all. So that was really like my whole journey with this, of like looking at it from the industrial side, like in the cosmetics industry, but also looking at it from the perspective of like at the heart of it being a self-love journey for myself, learning to love my skin and love it naturally, right? Without the, you know, lashes even, or the brows, or, you know, everything I can create with makeup, but like naturally, like, do I truly like myself, honestly? And that's like, that's the word, that's like a vulnerable truth of like, we think about all of these, like how we can fix ourselves and how we can make ourselves more beautiful with makeup. And don't get me wrong, I love makeup. You know, I came to Slay today.
She did. If you're not watching on YouTube, I can confirm she came to Slay.
Thank you. But, you know, at the end of the day, do I truly like myself when I take off all the makeup? Like, am I willing to take you know, filtered pictures? Am I honestly willing to post these pictures online for people to just see like me as my natural beat face?
Yes.
And it was, you know, back in, this was like 2018, 2019, where I was just like, ooh, the answer to these questions, all of them is not yes. Some of them I really don't. And that was kind of shocking for me. And so like, looking at that, I'm really taking an introspective look, like, you know, starting to go in therapy for myself, and all of these aspects of like just wellness really took a toll on me, of just recognizing that like, I love myself, but I don't think I like myself. And how can I change that beyond just working out? Like, how can I truly love my skin? And that from there was the inception of Denymarie Beauty.
Yes. Danielle said, we going to school today. Okay. I don't know about y'all, but I just learned a thing or two. Those are great questions to ask. And I absolutely love that. And just kind of a side question, because yes, among the other things that you do as well is makeup. So do you, like when you show up to gigs, I'm just thinking about myself, like when I've had my makeup done by an artist, I always am a little bit worried that my skin is not moisturized enough, because I'm like, what are they going to put on my skin? How much powder are they going to use? Right. Like, and I do use like Black makeup artists that understand that. So, you know, they're not going to leave me chalky or nothing. But do you take that upon yourself to like bring moisturizer, like, or any of your own products? Is that something that you do? I don't know. That's just something I'm interested in.
Yeah, so I always like send a questionnaire to my clients beforehand of like asking their skin allergies, how much makeup they typically wear, because I want to understand their level of comfort.
Okay.
Because it is a process of like putting on makeup, especially if you don't wear it like on a regular occurrence. Like, it's kind of overwhelming for some people, and they feel like they have a mask on, or that they can't like really show who they are. So I always like send a questionnaire before, just to get the feel of a client. And then when I show up the day of, I always ask, like, do you have moisturizer on? And like, affirm, do you have any skin allergies? And what do you understand your skin to be? Because not everyone truly understands their skin. They'll like, oh, I have oily skin, but it's like, no, you just have an oily T-zone, but the rest of your skin is like, you know, it's more dry. And so understanding that aspect when I'm there, but also I do use my own product. So I'll let them know, like, oh, I'm gonna use the serum on your skin. Like, honestly, our serum, I'm biased, but I'm obsessed. Like, I use only my products on my own skin. And so when I go show up to clients, I'm like, oh, like I tell them about the product and I'll put it on their skin. And I'm like, you know, I won't even necessarily tell them it's my product. Like, I don't want it to be biased. Like, oh, I'm trying to sell you my products here. It's like, no, I'm here for makeup, so I'm gonna do makeup. But like, oh, I'm using this product. And like, I will, like, not even kidding, most of the time, like, I just got back from doing a wedding, but a lot of the times, like, clients will reach out and be like, oh, what did you use on my skin? Like, it really helped the makeup stay on. Like, my skin felt moisturized. It didn't feel like cakey and airy. And I'm like,
I got you.
I got you.
I know a guy.
So, yeah.
I got you.
Exactly. So yeah, I always make sure to educate my clients as I'm there for makeup, but also like making sure I'm taking care of their skin at the end of the day.
Nice. Love that. Thank you for the little tidbit. That wasn't even a part of the questionnaire. Go girl.
Of
Okay.
course, I love a tangent.
Yeah, right. So do we on this podcast. So do we. All right. And so also, I guess you did kind of cover this, but you did go through your journey of like figuring out, yeah, what that self-love looked like and self-like, which is also very important as well. But what made you actually decide to say, like, okay, I'm going to start this company, like this is going to be my company?
Yeah, I feel like I've always been entrepreneurial and I didn't really like know it.
Mm,
And I recognized that one, there was a market for it, but then
mhm,
that's two. But number one, it was like, I'm using these products, I'm seeing great results, I'm getting compliments on my skin. Like, people are asking me what I'm using. If they're asking what I'm using, they're wanting to use it, they're seeing results from me. Why not put it out there and allow them to see the same results, if not better, for
mhm.
themselves?
Yes.
And so, that's what we put out. And if you look at our site, like we only have positive reviews. And I'm not like a moderator of reviews. And I'm always welcome, like, feedback and critique, because I think the only way I can grow, especially doing it by myself, is by the feedback, is the honest feedback. Like,
Mhm,
I didn't care if you're my bestie. Like, I want to hear if you didn't like this smell, you didn't like, how it felt on your skin, you didn't like the texture, like the labeling, the packaging, because I want to grow and make this brand better,
yes.
and my products better. And so, having that always be my mindset, even when I'm engaging with people, when I do get those, that feedback and those comments and those
Mhm,
reviews on our site, it's great to see that they're all positive.
mhm,
And, even as being family friends, like you purchased my products and I love the feedback I got from you,
mhm, mhm.
so
Yes.
it's great.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you. And so, I guess going off of that same idea, what was your main goal when starting your side hustle and has it changed? What does that look like?
Yeah, my main goal was put out the product, see how people liked it, and
Mhm,
really kind of use this as a a step into the
mm,
entrepreneur world, like officially. So
mhm,
going through the steps of getting my LLC, and then figuring out the formulations, doing the research and development, looking at marketing, creating marketing materials, creating packaging. Like this was my baby of really like my
mhm,
first child of
mhm,
seeing how I can build a business and how I can like do all of these things for myself. And that was like my main goal of just like, one, I want to put this great product out and have people consume it and love it. And, it to be something they need in their repertoire. Two, I want to use this business that ultimately I want to, create generational wealth, right? I don't want this to be a company that I start and it ends with me. Like I want this to be, I'm making this company and structuring it and trying to grow it so that my great grandchildren still have something to as a legacy. And in doing that, it's really understanding the business side and what I need to do and how I
mhm,
need to go about business. And
mhm.
yeah, that's been like my primary goal. And I think that's changed as of now. I think it's been a learning process of recognizing I can't do it all myself.
Ooh.
And like that's where I'm at,
Yeah.
in, seeing what I did well, seeing what I
Yeah.
did that like poorly in, like
Mhm,
in terms of, running the business or just looking at different products or, the finances of it, like figuring all of those things out for myself is recognizing like okay, I did this right, I did this wrong, how could I grow? Oh, I can't do this by myself. Or, oh, I don't even like to do this. So, like, let me have someone else do this. Like, recognizing I
Right.
don't have to do it by myself has been the next goal for me
Mm.
in business is learning how to run a better, more efficient business.
Ooh, okay. Yes, we love that efficiency. Because, girl, sometimes the way this
Yeah.
procrastination is set up, I'm like, oh, it is only me. So, yes,
Yes.
totally get that. Great. And is your goal to make this your main hustle? So, you did mention that you do other work as well. So, is that your goal? Does it look different for you?
I think it looks different for me. I know a lot of times people like have their side hustles and they want to make that their main hustle.
Right.
I think for me, like I really do love the clinical work and research I get to do, and thinking about starting my PhD next year.
Yes.
or like applying to start my PhD next fall. I think for me, I don't know if I want to necessarily make this like my main hustle. I think I really do love the clinical work and research I get to do. And I know I want to, once I get my PhD, have my own private practice in that regard. But I also like don't think there should be like a main and secondary. Like for me, I want to hustle hard for both of them. Like that's my ultimate goal, to like be able to say like, oh, I'm a CEO, but also a doctor. Like, you know?
Yeah.
So
love that. Wearing many
that's
hats.
my goal. Yes.
Yes. Love that for you. Awesome. Okay. And so moving on, how do you promote this side hustle?
So primarily we're on cross social media, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at denymarie beauty. And that's primarily what we promote. I will say though that, and part of my like reflection and critique on my business style is that like I don't like social media marketing, and it's the act of doing it. Like marketing for me, I could do it if it was my job. I'd be perfectly fine. I think I would do really well at it. I've done it in some capacities, but personally, like actually running it for my brand, it becomes overwhelming with all the other work I'm doing, and that's where I like have fallen short in being able to grow my business. Like right now it's a lot of repeat customers, which I love, but I want to be able to expand and have like new acquisition. And I think that's where for me, I've like recognized I falter. It's because like I just don't enjoy doing it, and it becomes overwhelming. Like to do the post, to respond, to like post across platforms, to understand like the analytics and all of that. Like I understand that it's truly a job. Yes. And that for me, I don't have the capacity to do it for myself. Yeah. And it's being okay with that. And recognizing that now in this next step, I'll be looking, and I've like posted about a little bit on my personal, like, has anyone known an assistant or whatever? But I'm really like actively looking to get a business assistant and or a social media like marketing associate for the business, because I want to be able to have that consistency, and I want to be able to grow. And right now I can't do it. And so our marketing is like falling short because I just don't have the time or the energy.
Yes, and yes, exactly. No, it is. It is a full-time job. Literally, people do this for their full-time job. And so thinking of taking it on yourself, like I appreciate you being able to recognize like it doesn't always work out that way. Like, the fact that people are content creators is because they are fully content creators, right? Like that is what they do. That is what they focus on. And it is not something that you can just like pick up and be like, oh yeah, I'll just do this one day. No, it takes planning, you know what I mean? Especially for that consistency. So love that. Wonderful. Yeah. And so what piece of advice would you give to someone who wants to pursue their own side hustle, knowing what you know now?
So knowing what I know now, I would say, number one, and I feel like I knew this before, like make it official, quote unquote. Like, and I mean that in the sense of like, get your LLC, make sure like if there's products or names, trademark that, like make sure your business is structured and has a good foundation before you try to expand or before you even think about actually adding products. Especially being in the cosmetic industry, like you want to make sure that your business is formed correctly. Whichever state you form your business in, make sure it's structurally sound. And from there, make sure you have the proper insurances to run your business or certifications, because not even just in terms of like tax season when you have to do all this paperwork and file for your business, it's also just in terms of liability, especially being in the cosmetics industry. Like you always want to assume that you're putting out the best product, right?
Right.
And thankfully, like I've never run into any issues, and most of the time you won't if you do have a truly great product. But it's always the small chance that someone gets a hold of your product in some capacity and it doesn't work out for them, and heaven forbid there's legal like ramifications. So always cover yourself in all regards. So make sure you have a sound business, like administrative, structural foundation, and then do your research. So understand not just like your product, but like why you use certain ingredients, why you're doing certain things. Understand your niche, so the market you're trying to sell to, the demographics of that, what they truly want and need. Yes. And stay persistent and consistent. I say this hypocritically because we just talked about how my social media is not consistent.
But you know what to do.
Exactly, exactly. And that brings me to the next point. Never stop learning. Like, understand that your products and your business and your brand started out this way, but it can grow and it can expand and it can change, and be okay with the evolution of that.
Yes.
Don't be so rigid in what you want things to look at, and be open to taking criticism and be open to other perspectives, because especially being a solo entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
it's you are actually have more things stacked against you, in the sense that one, you have to take on the extra work and burden, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, you don't have the diverse perspective that having other people on your business and in your business team can bring to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, if someone's offering you criticism, regardless if it's good or bad, take it in,
Mm-hmm.
determine if it's going to be beneficial for the growth of your business.
Mm-hmm.
But, ultimately be open to that perspective.
Yeah.
And then my last one would be don't just quit your job. I'm sorry. This is no shade to people who do this and just want to go full force into your side hustle. If you are in the financial position to do so, and you're also in the mental space to do so, right? Mm-hmm. Go for it. By all means, if you have figured that that's the best avenue for you, do it. I'm all for people doing what they feel is right in their heart, as long as it doesn't cause pain to anyone around them. Mm-hmm. But if it's going to truly cause you more anxiety, more overwhelm, and put you in a worse position, mm-hmm. do not just quit your job. Mm-hmm. It's okay. It's okay to take your time to build a solid business while tailing off from your, primary career. Mm-hmm. That is perfectly fine. But don't do something that's going to put you in more detriment, even though social media and all of these things tell you quit your job and you can do this and you need to dive deep into what you really want. What I really want is a good livelihood.
Right. What I want is my lights to stay on. That's just preference, I guess.
I don't know. That's just me. But so
yes.
It's recognizing that, because most of the time it takes a while for your business to grow. Small businesses, they take growth.
Right.
They take time. They take not just weeks, not just months, not even just years. It takes stepwise growth. And yes, some people go viral, and that's what we all see, the virality. But the reality mm-hmm. is that that's not just going to pop off. And if you do, kudos. I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you. Never rooting for anyone's downfall. But at the end of the day, you have to be realistic and understand it's going to take growth. And so while your business is growing, grow with it. Mm-hmm. Grow out of what you're not truly passionate about, mm-hmm. but that keeps your lights on, and grow into your business while also taking the stepwise to grow your business. Yes. So, just be smart about it. Love what you do, mm-hmm. and don't quit your job unless you can. But I like money. So I like money and things.
Look, I could not agree more. Look, the Beyonce sound came out and we all want to be on it and be with it. But I do remember, because I think it was last year when the Great Resignation happened, when basically a lot of millennials, mostly millennials, quit their jobs because they were just unhappy. They decided you know what, now with this unemployment from the government, I'm just going to go do whatever else I want to do. And bet, right? I get it. Do what you have to do. But COVID's probably not going to get payments again. You know what I mean? The stimulus ain't stimulusing again. So I get what you're saying. if the shoe fits, do it. But yes, totally agree. That was one of the hardest things for me as well. I want to give more time to this, but is it going to hurt my day to day? So yes, totally agree. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. It really is the truth. No, it is nothing but the truth. And so before we get into where the people can find you, our last question, the way we end our episodes, is throughout this process, did you ever feel like you were doing it wrong?
I will say, let's see. I will say yes and no.
Okay.
No, in the sense that I think everything happens for a reason. You're always constantly learning, and I wouldn't trade the lessons I've learned, right. To have, I guess, more like I wouldn't change the lessons I've learned.
Right.
But then it's like, yes, there are certain things I wish I've done differently. Like I wish from the beginning I would have focused more on expansion in terms of like marketing and being consistent in that regard. And recognizing sooner on that I can't do it all myself and that's okay. Uh, because I think so often we get stuck in this mindset, and I know at least for me, I got stuck in this mindset of like, I need to do it by myself. I need to like, from the funding to the, investing to everything, like, creating the products, doing the marketing, running the business, fulfilling orders. Like I have to do it. Like I have to get out the mud for myself. And it's like, no, baby. What we need is ease. And recognizing that and being okay with that. So I wish that's what I would have learned, but I also think that that lesson was necessary throughout this process. So I guess there's like nothing I would do different, but now I know the lessons, and so now I would have regrets if I didn't take those lessons and move forward and grow my business in a more, productive, efficient, and like more true way.
Yes. Ooh, that's a word. Spoken like a true Leo, though, honestly. I have so many Leos in my life, and like, like I'm not doing anything wrong, but like I learned, you know what I mean? And I love it.
Like,
I love it.
it's the truth. Like, I don't think it's not that I'm like perfect. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
perfection persists with me, and I just
Hey,
what
hey, if it works, what can I do? Oh my God, I love this so much. Yes, all right, awesome. So thank you so much. First of all, this has been wonderful. And yeah, if you want to reach out at all to Danielle, if you want to get in touch with her, where can the good people find you and your side hustle?
Yeah, so the good people can find me on Instagram. I'm at denymarie, DENYMARIE. That's my personal. Feel free, follow. And then my business, the baby, is Denny Marie Beauty, DENYMARIE, Beauty, BAUTY, one word, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we're gonna actually be having a newsletter that's gonna be rolling out in the fall. I'm gonna try to do that like monthly newsletter. It's gonna be based on like educational skin education, and also just products. We'll be rolling out some new products as well, expanding to body. That's a little, insider. But very excited about
Very
that.
cool.
So yeah, and then you could buy products on our website, denymariebeauty.com, one word again. And yeah, so reach out if you have any questions about products. We're going to be trying to get in some stores and doing more vendoring in the fall and the winter. So feel free, of course, to connect. I love meeting new people and doing what I can. So yeah.
Wonderful. Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, this has been enlightening. Every interview we do, it's so interesting because I don't think we have any overlap as far as like what the side hustles that we've been featuring. Maybe a little bit. I guess some of them are in the more like artistic space. But that's just kind of the creative like entrepreneurship as well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so a lot of the answers tend to be in that vein, but coming from your perspective with like the science background and like discussing the way you made your products and the way you chose that is so interesting because it's very different from the way say my mind would work about things. And so very enlightening. Thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. We'd love to have you on. And yeah, that'll be the end of this episode. However, if you would like to reach out to us, you can go to our Gmail at wrongthepodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us, rate, review, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Also, we are on YouTube for the visual conversation. And yeah, please reach out if you have any questions. Denny Marie, look, I was just going to call you by your beauty name, Denny Marie. but but is it okay if people do want to reach out to you just in case they have any questions about, what you do, or if they're looking to get into this as well?
Yes, no, of course. Please reach out to me, like anything skincare, beauty, like even just business. Like
Yeah.
I'm all for mentorship. Like I love to put people on. Like I don't want to be a gatekeeper. Like let me tell you about everything.
Yes, we love that. That is so true. Yeah, it doesn't stop with you, right? It should continue with you. And that is truly what we believe here. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And we look forward to featuring you on our page. And so when this drops, we'll let you know, we'll get you out there, and we'll let the people see all the things that you have to offer. Okay.
Yes, I'm here for it. I love the people. Love to meet the people. I'm here. We're just out here, just living.
Just living. Yes. Well, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of Am I Doing This Wrong? And as always, we will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.